And we're kind of talking around the whole theme of this film, which it's hard to talk about this film without spoiling it.
Yeah, because I mean, once before you get to the end and you realize what's going on, like this movie is very confusing. It's a very hostile film. It expects a lot of the audience.
Yeah.
It does nothing to draw you into it.
No.
In fact, there are certain points where you could be easily pushed away from this and be like, "Whoa,
What
why?
was that? Why did I watch that?
Yeah,
I feel like I would say that I just want to give the audience a little bit of meat. Basically, you have Ryan Gosling, who's this character named Henry, and he's meeting with a psychiatrist played by Ian McGregor. And throughout the whole film, he's telling Ian McGregor, his psychologist, that he wants to die. He wants to commit suicide. He wants to get out of this world because he's a failed artist in his mind. He wants to find love, but he has a ring, but he can't find it, or he can't find love. So he's down on his luck. He's failing in life. It's his 21st birthday on Saturday. He's responsible for his mother and father's death, and it's just him now alone as a college student, and he just wants to end it all. And it's part of Ian McGregor's character trying to help him, trying to save him throughout this whole film and convince him that, no, life is worth living. But I don't think Ian McGregor does a very good job of convincing Henry that he needs to live. He's very much like just asking boring questions and questions of analyzing and his thought process, when in reality he should be like, okay, let me have you meet Naomi Watts' character and talk about that kind of stuff, because I think that would be great. Like, she has a similar experience to you. She tried to commit suicide, and you should meet her and talk to her. She's my girlfriend, and there's many ways he could have helped him out in this movie.
Well, I mean, they
doesn't.
Specifically, they do mention that.
They do,
and
really?
Naomi Watts' character actually suggests to him that she should talk to him.
I didn't catch that.
But he says, no, that would be an ethical violation. I think.
Okay.
Well, I think it has to do with like doctor-patient confidentiality.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's what it has to do with.
I get that, but
but you're right in that Ewan McGregor does not.
It's just a thought, like,
he
to
doesn't
help the situation,
Yeah, he doesn't actually really do a good job.
No, and like, you see Henry's character's further descent into madness, not like DiCaprio's in Shutter Island, but another person who is just completely broken and is falling apart, and he's like, things happen in this film, like when he meets Bob Hoskins' character, and he kind of just breaks down and he says, no, that's my dad. That's my dad. That's my dad. You're supposed to be dead. And Bob Hoskins' character is like, well, I need to leave. I need to diffuse the situation. He's the one smart psychiatrist in this film who's also a doctor, and kind of, lets Ian McGregor help Henry out with this situation. But it's interesting because you have Henry who's hearing voices. You have him seeing visions. You have him getting people telling him different things. And he's like, screw life. I don't care. And then he's kind of melancholy, starting to figure out there's something more happening as he's building up to Saturday where he's going to commit suicide. And Ian McGregor gets that same feeling. He's like, what else? Yeah, something's going on. What's happening here? Like, things are not as they all seem to be. And I think before we dive, we can dive into the spoiler, I think, after this, but I want to say that I would recommend you take a gander at this film. It's very fascinating to watch, and I think it's an acquired taste for some people. Like, for Chris Stuckman, it hit him like really well. He really loved it. He enjoyed it, and after a second viewing, I would say, but go in knowing that this is a film that you really need to just ponder and think throughout the entire thing and give it your undivided attention. Which is, hard for me personally, but you have to give it your undivided attention because there's a lot of things that you're going to miss the first time going on into it. And then you get into the analysis. I would highly recommend also going to Stuckman's analysis of the film after you watch it, because it really does help a lot and also puts into perspective. And I think also, shout out to Stuckman, he did a really wonderful job analyzing this film and also presenting it in a way that's understandable, but also conveying to the audience the reason why films like this aren't successful and what takeaways we can get from that. So that's what I would recommend is, let's see, where can you stream it before we get into spoiler? We'll save that for after the spoiler discussion. But basically, I had to buy the DVD from Amazon, so that gives you an idea of how to find this film. Shutter Island, I think at its point of recording is on Apple TV Plus.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Oh, so is it? Or is it on Apple?
I don't know. It might be on Apple, but specifically
you
as
could
far
just
as
rent these films on any digital service. I think YouTube has both of them. That's what we did.
yeah.
So we rented Shutter Island on YouTube. I had the DVD of Stay, and so we watched it that way. So I would just, if you're intrigued one night and you got a cup of tea with you or any drink you'd like, and you're ready to sit down and watch something that you really need to you give your undivided attention to, and you're ready to soak in something, I would recommend Stay. If you just want a dang good thriller movie, go to Shutter Island.
But for those who do subscribe to Paramount Plus, Shutter Island is on there.
Yeah. And then Stay is on Fubo, whatever that is. It's some random streaming service. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably like, it's probably like, I don't know, some random streaming service, but you can rent it or just find a copy of it on Amazon or eBay or whatever, what have you. So as with that, David, let's